This podcast is brought to you by RYYZN Make Life Work Out, a health and self-development platform dedicated to helping busy, everyday Kiwis manage their physical health and upskill their mental well-being.
Through sharing relatable and practical content from health practitioners, as well as showcasing interesting stories from interesting people.
For more shows, content, events, and coaching, head to our website, www.ryz-workout.com. My first question is what do you do? I'm going to ask how it all came to be first, but what do you do first? Because I know you run Year Bowl, but I've seen heaps of ads with you in it. There's Bound For, which is an underwear company, and I'm does Phil own that too? I've seen you in massage gun ads as well, and I'm this dude seems like the kind of guy that has got his fingers in a lot of pies. But for our listeners that also don't know, what is it that you do?
I guess my main thing is Year Bowl, but mostly I've kind of created my life to just be around the things that I like doing. So obviously with fitness, I guess Bound kind of came along. He's a friend, but he's obviously starting a conscious men's underwear brand. And with massage guns, it just comes off social media, because obviously I talk about health and wellness, and then these brands kind of say, oh yeah, he aligns with what we align with our values. So yeah, they approach me, and that's kind of how those things come into fruition. So I don't actually own any of them. I'm just kind of I guess a model. Yeah. Or So I don't have an agency or anything. It's just the power of social media, Yeah. So all that stuff kind of comes from that platform, which is great because, you can either use it to benefit you, or you can just be trapped in this little hole and just consume.
Yeah.
So I always like to just,
see you on social media with your shirt off and yes, we want that. We want him.
So mostly it's just Year Bowl. That kind of just came from, I started off with a food truck with a mate, and that was I can't even remember how long ago that was. Damn, probably 6 years ago. Yeah, or 7 years ago. We had a food truck. I came up with this concept called a Paco. So Paco is a pancake taco merged together.
Yeah.
So instead of using a tortilla, it was a pancake. So it was a single serve pancake that you had in a taco form.
Oh, cool.
It was kind of cool. You had sweet and savory options, and we just had this little food truck that just kind of went around. There was a time that food trucks were just booming, and Ponsonby was booming. They had this place that housed all these food trucks, and there was so many events for food trucks and just cool summer events. So that's why we kind of did that. We just invested in a truck and then just went around doing events.
Yeah.
But then obviously slowly I was damn, I hate food waste, and would make X amount of pancakes, and some of these events would sell you the dream, and they'd have 100 people come through. You're oh well, we've got wasted food here, and I just hated it, and I was oh, I could eat all this, but being into training and all that, I'm not gonna eat 80 pancakes every weekend, So I did kind of change. I was oh, what can I do to change this, and do something that I could literally eat every day. And I just obviously went overseas. We parked it up. I had an opportunity to go to the States, do Coachella, do Mexico, and just travel for 5 weeks. Just did that, and then obviously saw in the States, there's just these poke places everywhere, and I was oh, poke bowls, oh, it's pretty cool. So I ended up just me and my mate Kobe, we just went around trying them for lunch every single day. And I was this is a vibe. So started doing some Googling, if anyone in NZ was doing it, and no one was doing it apart from this market stall. They did it at Papatoi markets, Sunday markets.
Yeah.
And then the next thing that came up was this brand in Sydney. And I was okay, if it's in Sydney, it's going to make the jump. So I was like, okay, after my trip, I was like, okay, let's call upon like, my real estate friends or just like friends that I knew, like, okay, find me a lease like on the shore. Because I wanted it to be like, on the shore vibe, like we, have your bowl by the beach, kind of like Bondi, but then, yeah. So I came back and just like dived right into it. And then obviously, 4 years later, we're in town and yeah.
What came first, your entrepreneurship or the love for cooking?
Well, so if we go back even further,
Let's do it.
I'm actually a fashion designer. So I've got a diploma in like fashion design and pattern making.
That's why you dress really well.
So that was like obviously where I wanted to go. That was the direction. Because my family had like a takeaway shop, like just a traditional Chinese like fish and chip shop, and like being a young kid, having to work there from like the age of like 9, 10, whatever it was, helping out. It was just part of being the family, you had to help out. So I was always just like, I just fucking dreaded it. I was like, damn, I hate this like greasy lifestyle, like, just having to be there all the time and like come out like, I wasn't allowed to go to mates' places because I had to work on a Friday night and just all that, all that kind of stuff. So I was like, I'm never going to be in hospo ever. Like, I hate this. So I went down like fashion and like graphic design.
Yeah.
What was that?
Oh, that was my flatmate coming home. Someone's there. These guys are so chill, someone's breaking in.
So yeah, I ended up just studying fashion. Did that for 2 years and started a clothing label with my friends. Yeah. Well, I started it myself, and then my friends that I met through going out, they had like the branding and like just a cool community and vibe, but I had like the design aspect and like just all the technical stuff. So like obviously after a few wet drunken nights like chatting and like, oh, you do this, like, oh, should we just join forces and make this like cool brand? So like after a few beers and spas and all that kind of jazz, we joined together and made like this brand called Kingdom of. So it was 3 boys and we just kind of, it was like a menswear kind of grungy kind of streetwear brand. And this is like obviously pre-Instagram, like pretty much Facebook had just kind of come up. So that was kind of my first, not the first, but I would say like where it all kind of started.
And what happened to Kingdom of?
We did it for like 5 years, which is like quite a long time. And everyone had like side hustles after, like, on the side of that. Because being having 3 people in the company, it was just like everyone had to be split 3 ways. And then like with like back in the day with fashion, it just was so hard. Like, you needed like investment, like huge capital, or like, just rich parents, and none of us had that. So we were just like, oh. So everyone like had like a side job. Like one was in like photography and film, one like started DJing, and then I started the food truck. So like those side hustles slowly became the main, and we kind of just like let that the baby kind of just like go off.
Well, what was the process of you going from fuck, I never want to work in hospital again to now going back to food?
Well, so from in that decade, in that period of time, I guess I was training, like started at Les Mills, and just started like on my like obviously fitness journey, doing the things that I like doing. I just ended up wanting to build strength, just change my whole body composition. And with that comes along, like with food, like learning how to cook, eating better food. So I just ended up like, just in my spare time making my own meals. Like we all went through like meal prep and like doing all that kind of stuff. And then I was like, oh, there's more to life than this meal preppy stuff, like the same 5 foods. So I ended up like, started making like healthier brownies and like healthier burgers and just like you just experiment with all these like foods that like labeled junk food, but like making them better for you foods. So then that's kind of like how it came. I was like, okay, cool. I made pancakes. I made pancakes every day for a year, like protein pancakes every morning, because I was just working for myself. I'd just wake up, make sack pancakes, and Snapchat had just came out, and I would just Snapchat every day, and I was like, oh my god, this guy's like the pancake man. So that's how that came about.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, they were like obviously like healthy protein pancakes and all that kind of jazz.
Could you still eat those now? Because I used to have protein oats every single fucking day.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't eat that shit no more.
It.
I used to love that for sure.
Just like
you put the frozen berries in it. It
Yeah.
tastes like a dessert for breakfast, but it's healthy.
Oh, so good.
But Jesus, that and chicken breast, I cannot
Yeah,
deal with now.
I know, yeah.
I can't have any of that.
Yeah. No, we still. I still do pancakes. Yeah, we do pancakes for lunch on Sunday actually. Yeah. Yeah. So it's good to have every now and then, but I don't know how I did it every day.
Yeah.
For a whole year.
I resonate with you because my parents have always owned a cafe.
Yeah.
Like they own a Korean. Oh no, they own a Japanese restaurant now.
Oh, yeah.
But it's gone through Korean and Japanese right up until I was fucking young as.
Yeah.
So my first job was with my parents.
Yeah.
And I remember being always like the boys would be able to go out on the weekends, go have fun. And I'd be like, oh, I can't. I have to go work for mom and dad.
Yeah.
You know. And it's only till now that like. I realized the value of hard work and
100%.
unity and tribe, being there for your family.
Yeah.
What were your learnings? Because, you know, hating it when you were 9 or 10, just like me, what were your learnings now that you're an adult and you're able to look back on that?
Yeah, I guess it's like what we said, the hard work.
Yeah.
Just knowing what actual hard work is, just starting at a young age and just seeing, just working as a team, as a family. Like you know, everyone's got their own like little jobs, and it just works out. And it's kind of obviously it's cool looking back at it now. You're like, it was actually really cool. Like and like it's something that I want to keep. Like kind of not put upon my children, but like I feel like it's a good way to teach your kids like just hospital like kind of their lifestyle.
Being of service as well.
Yeah. Hospitality. I feel like everyone like now should really work in hospital for a bit. To understand, like the dynamic of working as a huge team and just like problem solving. Like I think problem solving is a huge thing for kids and like just people these days. Like not knowing how to like deal with issues like on the spot. And you're just like you like skirts out like I don't know. Because you gotta be composed and like actually when the customer's right there you can't be like okay
too right. It teaches you essential communication skills. Yeah. Oh, did you have something to say?
I was saying, so you said Yearball's been around now for maybe 4 years?
Yeah, so 5?
5 years?
Yeah, there's obviously a couple, middle years that we
Yeah.
got,
I was going to say, what do you find your biggest challenge in business has been?
The biggest challenges, I guess a lot of people would say the people, like managing the people. It's like, obviously, but I feel like I've had, some good success in that, having like, because I feel like a lot of like what I do, I like to lead by example. So I like to do the work and just whatever I do, I'm just like, okay, this is, I'm not gonna, I can tell you what to do, but like if you see me doing it, you're obviously gonna pick up on it. So I feel like with what I've been doing, being in the business as well, because I obviously enjoy it. I'm not here to like start a business and just try to like make millions. Like that'd be great, but like I do love doing what I do. So like I'm there, so I feel like when my team see me doing it and like putting in the work, they're just like, okay, cool, like he's doing it, I gotta do it. So I think with with that it's been good. I've been lucky to have like such a cool, great team. Haven't really hardly had any issues apart from the normal that we've been dealt with like worldwide. But the other challenges, I guess, nothing that there's nothing I couldn't have controlled, I guess. So, no, not like, I wouldn't say it was like too challenging. Like I can't, like the amount of people like would be great, when you go overseas and you see the density of like cities, you're like, holy moly, like this is crazy. But obviously I can't control that. I can only do what I can do.
Have you thought about going overseas as well? I know you've just branched out to the Mount Maunganui.
Yeah, we did that just to test out the waters, and just because I think that is the vibe down there. Like everyone's so like so active. It's like the perfect like kind of lifestyle, like food. for them. But then again, I don't know how it's going to be year round, you know, like with winter and stuff. You know, people are still quite, it's not like Sydney or like overseas where people kind of look after themselves all year round. And it's just like that, you know, constant like healthy lifestyle where like I feel like New Zealand, there's a hibernation mode.
Yeah.
You know?
True, yeah, in the winter time.
Yeah, which is like weird. I find like, why would you do that? But okay.
It is coming up the way, like with all these little pop-ups, little niche things about health, like ice baths and those, what's that, chill wellness or clarity wellness?
Yeah.
Oh, Victoria Park.
Vic Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, like things like that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's more. Obviously, there's like Hana and there's Slow and all that kind of stuff. All those,
Wellness places.
popping up. Yeah.
So you're not at the Mount anymore?
No, we're still there. We're there until end of Feb, and then we'll see how we go.
Yeah. Because how many year bowl places do you have in Auckland? One or two? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's one in Britomart.
Britomart, the one that you would have.
Yeah, I've been to that one.
Yeah. So we went from the train station to across the road, on the main street, and then K Road.
Yeah, right.
So,
I haven't
yeah.
seen the K Road one.
Yeah. So it's like next to Tesla.
Yeah.
But we started on the shore in Takapuna, and then obviously just came to town because the shore is not busy at all.
Oh, really?
Well, it's just like when you look at the suburb, there's a lot of competition, but there's not that many people there. Right. When you think about it, when you break it down, you're like, okay, there's so much offering, but like not enough people. Yeah. It's like, you know, people are just like, they just end up going to what they like, and like so it's not. Yeah. It's not dense enough.
Yeah, gotcha. So you talked about leading by example as one of like the vital pillars of leadership. And I assume that's again brought down from like our parents, right? Because when we work with our parents, they led by example.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, I better reach up to their standards of work or I'm in trouble.
But you just see them working like day in, day out every day, and you're just like, you don't think about it, but like now that you know we're reflecting on it now, you're like, huh.
Yeah, I remember complaining being tired, and my dad would be like, "Oh, you're tired. You're tired. You're tired, are you?"
I didn't say a single word. That's crazy. I was just like, just do it.
Yeah, it's easier.
Otherwise, you're on the streets.
So true. What other pillars of leadership do you think is important, bro? Aside from just leading from example.
Of leadership, obviously just honesty, having like, you know, being able to also, what am I trying to say here? To ask for help, like that's another one. Like, you know, just knowing what your weaknesses are as well as your strengths, and just being self-aware, I guess. That way, you know, you can seek help, or like just you can't. I used to think that I could just do it all, and like I just thought, okay, no, I can. If I don't know this, I can just figure it out. But it takes you obviously like this much time as opposed to like
hiring someone to do it.
Yeah.
I think that's another
I
thing.
think it's like an ego thing. Yeah.
An ego thing, but also something that our parents maybe have passed down to us.
Yeah.
Because like my father was like a jack of all trades, save as much money as
Like,
possible.
exactly.
I'll
That's
do
the thing.
everything.
Yeah. It's the saving part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being in business now, you're just like, just pay someone. It's just a way.
It's
So much
more of
more
a time
faster.
thing. Like I said, something that might take you a whole day to work out when you could pay someone that could get it done in half an hour. Like, you know, that's when it's worth your money then to invest in someone that can get that task or job done a lot quicker than you can. Yeah.
Is your family still here? Do they still have the takeaway shop?
Yeah, they still got it.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Still rolling.
Yeah, it's not even like 20 something.
Wow, they are a part of that community, eh?
Yeah, it's nuts. Like people that like, the customers that have seen me from like this tall. Yeah. Like I pop in there now occasionally, just to have dinner and catch up, and they're just like, who's this guy? Like, is this the little dude? I'm like, yeah.
Were you born here, bro?
Yeah.
I see. Did you ever? Because I have this chat with a lot of 1.5 generation or one generation immigrants. Were your parents born here as well? No. They immigrated here from China. Got it. Did you ever feel like this pressure to succeed, to make something of yourself or like this pressure to pay back your parents for their sacrifices? Yeah. Do you want to describe that process, bro?
Always. Yeah, because they, just being a traditional, like obviously Asian parents, they want you to, get a job and, the most successful kind of...
The 5A, the big A,
the big five, yeah.
Doctor, lawyer, accountant, engineering.
Engineer, yeah.
What's the other one? I forgot the other one.
It's
one of them.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. And they want you to be like super academic and all that kind of jazz. But I think from everything that I've done, and obviously my parents being here for so long, they've kind of just thought like they realized that it's not going to happen. Like I'm not that kind of person. Yeah. But I do my best to obviously pay them back. But at the same time, I think they know that as long as you're happy. Yeah. And you enjoy what you do, it's all good. Like I think they've I've noticed them like shift their mindset. Like they just look after yourself, make sure you're happy. Like it's not all about money, yada yada yada. And it's quite like interesting to see now. I'm like, oh, interesting. Yeah. Like because like my sisters have gone down the path of that. Yeah. Like they're both like they do accounting shit. Like, and I'm just here like just building things and like making things and selling things.
Doing what your parents have done.
Yeah,
right?
Pretty much. Yeah, and they're like, obviously, we don't want you to work hard. It's like, well, at the end of the day, I don't consider this work, so I'm not working hard. I'm just living my life. Yeah. And having fun with what I do. Like I built my life to be around the things that I do, and I get to work with friends and other people, like other mates that have started businesses, we're just working together and like collaborating, and that's kind of what life should be about, really. Yeah.
I remember that always used to get put onto me when I was younger as well, but I think it was just because my parents just didn't know any better. That's what they thought they needed to, because that's what they missed out on, or they moved from the Philippines and they were like, cool, we're going to give our son and our kids better opportunities to then strive for what was handed down to them by their parents, these high academic success jobs, such as the big five.
For them, because money would have been such a struggle, so that therefore they think, for our kids, if you get a really good, well-paying job, you'll be all good then. You'll be successful, you'll have a nice house, you'll have all the nice things that we may not have been able to provide you because we had to struggle type thing. So I think that's why there's that pressure. It's just like we just want you to have a good job where you get paid well so that you have a good life. But like you said, when they learn that I do have a good life, I am happy with what I do, then it is kind of like, oh, okay, you don't need the...
And even if you are paid well, like some people, a lot of people might not be happy.
Exactly.
And it's just like, what's.
Yeah, that hit home when I told my dad after high school that I was going to go to drama school instead of going to like academia. And I remember him driving me up to Auckland, and I said, Dad, I'm sorry that I'm not doing what you want. And he stopped the car and he goes, I just want you to be happy. That's the point. And you are happy whenever you're like acting and when you're on stage. So that's all good. And that hit home for me. I was like, the point was to never be a doctor. The point was to be happy. They sacrificed everything so I could be happy. And that's when it hit home for me. Just to give us better opportunities to be more happier than what they had.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where did you move up from?
The Philippines.
Oh, I thought you meant you were moving up to Auckland.
Oh, sorry, Taupo.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Yeah, so we moved to New Zealand in 1998. I was in Taupo from 5 years old till 20. And then from 20 till now, I'm 30. I've been in Auckland. Yeah, so I only moved up here for drama school. To be an actor. I remember my dad, because they didn't get it at first. They were like, you want to be a what? I was like, I want to go to the arts.
I want to be an actor. I want to be the Philippine version of Brad Pitt.
And they were like, what the hell? And then they saw me on stage and they were like, I get it now. I get it.
Oh, that's so cool.
Nice. I remember one time in, 7th form, still in high school, I told my dad that, hey, I'm going to do work experience in a restaurant. And he goes, no, I did not sacrifice everything for you to do exactly the same thing as I am. Like, go pick something else. And I thought that would make him proud. So, there's this dynamic of trying to impress my parents. Do you still have that as an adult now? Trying to make them proud?
No, not really. I think now with social media and like all that kind of jazz. I think my parents can see what I do.
Yeah, right.
Well, my mum. I don't think my dad knows. My dad's just like kind of just oblivious. Just works, and like mum probably just reports back to him.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you sitting in icy water for? It's not good for you. I'm like, because it's like an Asian thing. Like, you don't sit in cold water.
Yeah, too
I'm
right.
like,
Don't be in the sun for too long.
I'm like this opposite. I'm like tan ass and like sit in like ice all the time. They're just like, this guy's broken, eh?
Every time I see my parents, they're always like, boy, you're getting more and more brown.
Get inside.
Yeah.
Put sunscreen on. Speaking of ice,
Yeah.
December last year, Icemunity celebrated 1 year, which was pretty epic.
Cool.
How did Icemunity come to be? Explain Icemunity for those that may not have heard of it before.
So yeah, Icemunity was pretty much just ice baths and community put into one word. Yeah. But then I think
Didn't figure that out.
well, no, actually, some people think immunity. I'm like, that it does work too. So I'm like, okay, sweet, ice building up your immunity. I was like, oh, that's another way to look at it, but that was not the reason. But yeah, it's all good. So yeah, 1 year, December.
Yeah.
Just I guess how it came about. Doing ice baths was just like being into training. You hear about helping recovery, like reduced inflammation. That was like kind of the only reason why you do it, like, or like for sports to help like your muscles and like muscle ache and stuff. So I think when lockdown did happen, I was bored shitless cleaning my house. I was like, oh, what can I do now? Like, it's just clean. I ended up like finding these 2 tubs, those blow up tubs from back when I did like a ice bath, like Wim Hof thing at Les Mills.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I want to get one of these tubs. Got it. Like a year later, didn't even use it. Like, it's just under my bed. So like, me and a mate dusted it out. We're like, oh, let's start doing more ice baths because like the science is coming out. There was more podcasts and more people talking about it. Over 21, 22. So we were just like, okay, let's start doing more. Let's try to do like 3 a week. We did one and we're like, damn, this was like $70 worth of ice. Like, so expensive. Yeah,
of course.
because like we were going to Hana and then I was like, going to like these places and they were like pretty expensive.
Yeah.
And I was just like, damn, how do we reduce the cost here? Try to get the ice. Might as well just go back there because that's $40 each worth of ice to get the water cold enough.
Yeah.
So then I kind of came about. We did the ice baths, put it on social media, as you do, and people expressed interest. And I was like, they're like, I've always wanted to try that. Where'd you get the tub from? Yada yada yada. And I tried to find more tubs online, couldn't find any. And I was like, hey, why don't we all just like, why does everyone just meet me at location X and we will just do it together? Like, bring your own ice. I'm just, we all came out of lockdown. There was no one could go anywhere. There was like no social events. We'd all been like, locked up for so long. And I was like, okay, let's just focus on what we can do, like build our immune systems, like reconnect and just like build, just rebuild our like connections. So I was just like, okay, this is the location, put it out there, bring your own ice, bring a smile, just come down. I'll be here from 8 o'clock. So yeah, that happened, and like 10 people came. And I was like, sweet, this is cool. Like, it's a little catch up with all my mates, like all my closer mates. And then the next weekend, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do this every single weekend because I've got nothing else to do. So yeah, each weekend the numbers like doubled, and I was like, holy moly, okay, this is fun. This is cool. Like, how can we like make it more of a vibe? People like, we were getting newbies, we were getting people that were like, oh, I've done, cold showers, I've heard about this and that, and I, started diving deeper into the science. And yeah, I was like, okay, let's, make this more accessible for people. Like, let's make this like yoga or like a boot camp or like any fitness, like kind of, a group fitness kind of event. Where you would do them with friends, you can't. It shouldn't just be like a thing that you do by yourself. Because having 2 tubs, you could. I was always encouraging people to bring a mate. If anyone needed it, just bring them along. Like, you'll be surprised at, like, you know, what you can achieve if, like, you know, you set your mind to it. And like, it was cool because with like having 2 tubs, there was also that whole friendly competition aspect, and like, you know, people were both pushing each other because they're like, I don't want to be the first one, like, you know, or like, oh, my mate's in here, I better do it. So like, you could also like hold people accountable as well. So that was really cool to see, and like, those are all the things that, like, you know, I promote as well. You know, just being accountable, looking after yourself, and then also, like, you know, in turn, you look after everyone else around you. So like, if you're like obviously healthy and you look after yourself, you're obviously just gonna be a positive person, and everyone else is just gonna, you know, feed off your, you know, positivity, and then, you know, your whole ecosystem's gonna be great, you know. So that's what I always push, and yeah, that I felt like that whole Icemunity, that was that, and I was like, everyone's just radiating like good vibes, and it's just like so epic, you know. And at the end of the day, you know, everyone's there over connecting over like a common interest. And if you're like already like there, because you're interested in ice baths, you're going to be interested in similar things already, you know, like health and wellness. And then, yeah, you end up connecting, making new friends, because that's the thing, I think, being older, you don't, it's quite hard to make new friends. You know?
True, yeah,
You know,
very true.
unless like you're going out and getting like on the source, you're just like, wow.
And that's usually the most common way.
Yeah, but then at the same time, it's like, it's not authentic. And like, yeah, exactly. It's not authentic, but then at the same time, people don't follow through either, because like, they're like, oh, I was wasted. Like, I feel.
I was wasted. I think we became friends, but she might not remember.
Yeah, and you're just like, this internal dialogue, you're just like, come on, mate. Like, but like, when you know, you're so called sober, you're like your true self, and like, you're vulnerable, and you're there. It's so much easier to like, you know, connect with people. And that's what I've seen, like, is just people coming week after week, and then on the 3rd, 4th week, they come together and they leave together, and they're like, let's get coffee, let's do this. I'm like, this is amazing. I love this.
Yeah. Essentially, what you've done is you've created vehicles for you to live your life the way you want. Is what I'm hearing for you. Yeah. And you've been able to just monetize off it, which is awesome.
Yeah. But also, like you said, it sounds like you said, it's what you would be doing anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether people came or not, you were enjoying having an ice bath. It was just sort of like, oh, well, if other people want to come join me, cool.
Yeah,
but like,
exactly.
I'm doing this anyway. So it's not like it's, it's something that was already happening.
There's not a lot of resistance. And
There's not a lot of resistance for you, eh?
No.
Yeah.
And it's the same with like food as well. Like, obviously with the I was like, okay, cool. I want everyone to eat healthier. Like, everyone should have better food. Like, you know. So that's how that, you know, how I like work that around. I'm like, okay, cool. I would have brought some bowls over, but it was so early. I was like, oh, too early.
How did you get to that point where you're like, you know what, I'm just going to create these vehicles of passion for me? Because there's a lot of people that could be listening right now that don't like what they do, and they're like on the fence about doing something that they really want to do, and, you know, create a business or a side hustle out of it.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to those people?
Well, there's always a way. If there's something that you like doing, there's always a way to obviously turn it into like a living. I'm pretty sure that's the same with what you guys are doing here now, you know? So yes, it's just finding something that you're just obsessed with, and you want to just spend the rest of your days doing, and just obviously figuring out how you can build a community from it, and then in that way, like, obviously the money will come too. But yeah, I think it's, you want to create like an ecosystem, really, you know. So you want to have like what am I trying to say here? I'm trying to like picture it in my head, like.
No, I get it. I think you also touched on it earlier, bro. Like, you you found something valuable and you shared it with other people, and because you found other people who were interested in the same things, money just came as a byproduct because of it, right? And that's the thing. When I first ever heard of someone making $1 million on YouTube just by reviewing peanut butter, I was like, oh my God, that sounds like the most nichest thing ever. But if you like peanut butter, there are X amount of people that also likes peanut butter and want to hear about that shit.
Exactly.
So you can do that shit with ice baths, you can do that with health and fitness, you can do that with podcasts. Whatever you like, there is bound to be X amount of people that are going to like the same
especially
thing.
in this day and age now, you know, like,
There's no excuse.
Yeah.
There's no excuse,
pick
especially
up-
with
there's,
internet.
Like 16 different apps to like do different things. Just like you're gonna be able to succeed on at least like one or two.
I agree, and I think so many people think too much about that not many people will buy into it, and not many people will care. When you don't need that many people,
No.
you literally just need. If you have, I don't know, 30 people paying you $50 a week, that's a lot of money already, and doing what you like as well.
But I think that's it. If people think too much about all those other things versus just thinking about, like you said first, what are you obsessed with? What is something that you love and that you could do forever, whether you got paid or not? Like, I think if you just focus on that, then, like you said, the money, all that extra stuff comes with it. But if you're already, I think, in that mindset of like, oh, how do I make money? How do I make money off this? I don't think that's probably the best
Well,
one.
just getting started, just taking the plunge, just doing it first. Like even if it's not something you're like, oh, okay, I'm like 80% into this or less. Like just doing it and just like I do that quite a lot. I just do it and then I just learn. Like obviously some things might not obviously work out, but like you take the learnings from it. Like, but you know, you're better doing it, taking the plunge, taking like 20 steps and failing than like actually still sitting on square one thinking about what if, you know, like
Like if you love making cupcakes, bake your cupcakes,
just
post it on
make
Instagram,
cupcakes,
make a cupcake page, and then everyone's gonna be like, oh my god, your cupcakes look amazing, can I have some? Can I buy some off you? Boom.
Yeah, you just gotta do it. Just
it'll just come.
Yeah.
take action. Like, it's a huge one.
Yeah, I had a friend who loved baking, and she was just taking Snapchats and Instagram photos of her baking that she would and her boyfriend would eat, and all of a sudden orders started coming in, and she's like, "Fuck, I've like almost substituted half of my office wage a week just by baking." And I was like, "That's fucking awesome. That's fucking awesome." But yeah, I understand that it's also uncharted territory for a lot of people, and as it was for us. But when we started this podcast, uncharted territory, lots of doubt. How do you manage doubt for you? If you ever find yourself like, do you ever get like paralysis analysis, where you're like overthinking certain things?
Sometimes.
Yeah. So what do you do in those moments?
What do I do? I used to, you know, doubt myself, but then I think from repetition and doing it so much, I just know like just do it, like just put it out there. Like obviously once you put it out, verbalize it, tell someone, or just just design whatever it is design and just put it out there and just take one step at a time. Like be 1% better. Like just so. Yeah, I think from practice, I've kind of just pushed that kind of doubt, like buried it. I don't really doubt myself. I'm more like an I can kind of person now. Yeah,
I think if everyone in this world has pushed themselves outside of their comfort zone at some point, whether it's riding a fucking bike, going to a new school, you push yourselves outside of your comfort zone. You just take the exact same premise into something a little bit more conscious. You know?
And like you said, the more times you're doing it, the more evidence you're building that, like, hey, I can do this, I've done it before.
Yeah.
Exactly.
that's where the ice baths come in. Building like mental resilience and just like knowing like it doesn't get easier every single time. Like I've done it so many times, it does not get easier. I'm just like my nerves just like, oh, it's my turn, and then but you've done it so many times, so you're just like, boom,
Done it
like
before and I got through it.
I've got through it. Like I'm alive. Like I'll keep doing this. But that's how you build that mental wiring.
Yeah. Ice baths is that external stimulus that helps you build the resilience. Just like with anything, you can replace that ice bath with anything else. At what point, bro, did you start to really value your health? Was there like an intervention, a turning point where you're like, you know what, now I'm going to really double down on taking care of myself?
Yeah, because you're a big advocate for like sleep, health, overall well-being, training.
No, I think ever since I got into it, I got into like fitness and health and stuff pretty late. I think I was like 22. These kids like doing it at like 17 these days. I'm like, damn, sheesh. I started late, but being from like starting from 22. Yeah, from 22, I've just nothing like dramatic has happened. I've just been so curious, obsessive about it, and just kind of I've just tried it all, and like I'm just so curious at what like the human body can do, and like what we're actually capable of. So I think that drives me to do what I do, like the training that I do, and like I'm just like, cool, like, okay, we can do this, like like I wonder how far you can push the body into this, or like just learning, like we can learn skills like pretty damn fast these days if you could obviously have the right programming and systems. And from my training, I've just kind of I've dabbled in like everything, from like just general bodybuilding to like strength, like powerlifting. It all starts, and then you get like powerlifting, and then like you start doing like your macros, and then you start like all that kind of stuff, you meal prep, and then you macros, and then you do all that, and you're just like, this is what I like now, like.
And what have you landed on? What are you training for at the moment?
For me, like I like to promote just like skill acquisition, like learning, because obviously when you chase like a certain like I guess like a number, or like if you want to be like X weight, whatever it is, or like if you want to look a certain way, the motivation ends. There's always like an end point to that. But like I like to just work towards skills or like learning things. So at the moment I just have like a few goals that I want to hit. Like try to do like a half marathon, and like do like like one arm chin up, all these kind of things, and just like work towards those journeys, those goals, and like the journey obviously will create another path, and then that will just keep going, and then you just end up doing other things, and then it's just never ending.
That's the beauty
there's no
of it.
end point.
There's no end point. You're just at the end. You just want to better yourself, and like
find another skill that you'll want to learn, because you'll be like, oh cool, I've nailed that one now. Now I want to try to do that, and I've achieved that, but now I want to try for that. Like you just will keep going. It's never like you said.
Like, how do you keep your body calm, and like how do you like manage your stress as well, and like how do you there's a lot of things you can look after, like how can I get more rest, like how can I incorporate my sleep into this, like there's so many things like you can do to like improve self, I guess.
That's the beauty of what you said before, of like just leading with curiosity, like what can my body do? Because there's a lot of people in the space of like afraid of what their body can't do before they even try, exactly, but if you flip that and really lead with curiosity, it's endless. It's fucking endless. Just learn how to deadlift first, and then next thing you know, how far can I deadlift? Can I also do this? Can I also do that?
Exactly, So man.
You mentioned before, bro, right earlier when we started recording about social media. It's either a promotional thing, that's how people found you, or you can go towards like this hole that can get sucks, toxic. Have you ever found yourself in that type of toxic space, or how do you manage your use of social media? What's your relationship with it?
I guess I'll be lying if I didn't say like it sucked my time, and like I get sucked in the hole, like we all do. It's like designed to do that. But I think I'm around people, and like I'm conscious enough, and I listen, I know I'm very conscious of it. So I think whenever I do get a few minutes in a hole, I like know when to get out. I'm like, okay, get out now. But no, I think I've got, being older as well, like I want to be investing my time into like more important things, like relationships, like the businesses that I do, and like the real stuff. Like at the end of the day, it's just a little like world, a handheld world. So I just kind of I just keep busy. At the end of the day, I keep busy doing like things that are important. But then also, knowing that like it is also a gateway to collaboration and opportunities. So with that, I guess I curate the feed that I see, or like whatever putting out there to be in that realm, and there's not like many distractions there. It's solely like fitness, food, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think when people complain about social media, I think there is an opportunity to take more responsibility about it. There's that, like, the algorithm based on what you like and share.
Yeah.
Like, it's following your actions.
Yeah.
Googling bloody cats eating, like, you know, like mud, drinking mud, like you're gonna be seeing cats and kittens and dogs. Just like, well,
And if you have poor body image and all you're following is like supermodels and bikini girls in bikinis, it's like, well, then you're obviously going to continue to have poor body image because you're always comparing. Whereas it's like you said, you can adjust and curate it to suit you and what you want to look. If you do just want to see food, you can just see food. If you want to be seeing celebrities and the drama of the world, then you can also be consuming that 24/7.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah. It can be toxic, but also, like I said, there is an opportunity to take more self-responsibility about it. Like, at the end of the day, the algorithm is the way it is because of what you chose it to be. It is following you.
Yeah.
You know?
And like you said, the keeping busy, I find the mornings when I do have a lot of things on and it's just like, quick, get up, train, get home, make breakfast, do this, clean that, before, and I'm like, shit, like it's 8:30 and I've done so much this morning and I haven't checked my phone. But the mornings that if I have a slower start and I kind of think, oh, I'll just check my phone before I do that, the next minute I'm like, fuck, there goes an hour and I haven't got out of bed.
it's these habits. It's crazy how these like tiny little like habits can just form.
Yeah.
Like,
unconsciously too.
And then it just rolls on for your day. I think when I have a day like that, then it's like the whole day I feel I'm on the back foot because I'm like, oh shit, I was going to do that load of washing before I went there, but I haven't got time, and shit, now I'm actually running late for work, and before you know it, that day sort of snowballs and you're on the back foot just because you've spent the first 30-45 minutes of the day on your phone consuming shit.
Bro, what non-negotiables do you have in your routine to ensure that, like, you know, you have the mental clarity, you have the power to show up in your relationships and in your business, and the things that you said was important in your life?
I guess, one of my main ones would just be, working out, exercising.
You just work out every day?
Yep.
Some form of movement,
Some form of movement. Obviously, there'll be days where it's not as stressful, just more like active recovery. That's a main one. I definitely do feel like, I'd be quite a angry person if I was to skip. But at the end of the day, if when I do skip, when I do have like longer rest days, I do try to also get out in nature. Just get out of being in the city all the time. You need to like get out, man. You just need to like slow down somehow, and that's also why I guess the weekends with like the Icemunity that helps as well. That's another, I guess, method for me to just slow down. It helps, brings me back to like ground zero. So that's one of just any form of like stress, like a micro stressor that helps you bring you back to the body. Because we're constantly just being so stimulated. So working out, some sort of like stressor, like heat stress or cold stress, and then sleep. I just try to always look after my sleep, like you said. Sleep's a huge one.
How many hours?
How many hours you get?
I'd say I think from what I've the research that I've done on like my Whoop and stuff, and like seeing the data, I think 7 is a good one for me. So I get to bed I'm in bed for 8, but we're not sleeping for that whole time. So 7 seems to be the good sweet spot for me. 8 hours in bed, but then you get 7 to 7.5 of like actual sleeping, which is good, which is like super interesting to see. Like, it's nuts, man.
Are you the type of person that gets recharged when they're around people or when you're by yourself? Or is it a bit of both?
Bit of both. I do like walking around like by myself, and then like driving the car in silence, or like
I do that too.
just no talking. Don't talk to people. But then I love the community aspect. I love being around like-minded people. So I think it's like a 50 or 60-40. Yeah.
Especially in our jobs, because we're in service, so we're always around people. For me, Sundays are like, don't talk to anyone, apart from Shanae, obviously. But usually, bro.
Even me sometimes.
Sometimes I'm like, I'm not even present because I'm in my own world, because I've just done like 6 a.m. to fucking 4 p.m. with clients. And now after that, I just want to be by myself, but also at the same time, I've got to tend to my relationship. Do you ever have those issues with your partner? Like, what are some non-negotiables with your relationship? I'm trying to get relationship advice right now. This ain't for the podcast.
Oh yeah, it's just spending time. Like I'm quite a quality time kind of person. Doing things together. Whether it be like working out together is a huge one for us. And then just going out, like just doing what we would do if we were like like young, like the first few months of a relationship.
Like,
just doing fun. Like dress up, go. It's like so easy not to like. Oh, let's just go somewhere like super quick and casual.
Yeah.
So nah, just pretend it's like your buddy third date, like, and just go out again.
Helped us as well.
And then also doing fun things like we just randomly would just jump on like some lime scooters and just lime around town. We'd lime down to the domain and checked out that lake.
Yeah.
It's just fun. Just be spontaneous and just just have fun.
Put in the effort.
Yeah.
Put in the effort
Yeah,
to keep the ball up, as in like the funness, the openness, the spontaneity. Keep that ball up. Because I think previously in my relationships, it's so easy to just do it for like the first 3 months and the honeymoon phase, and then you start to feel comfortable, and you just get into this pattern of, you just stop appreciating it.
Or not putting in the effort.
You stop putting in the effort,
Yeah.
And I think as I've grown up, like it's so important to treat your relationships like it's work. Like you've got to put in effort.
Yeah, celebrate a few every other day. Just there's something to celebrate for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool. Bro, we've got 2 more questions before we shut this off.
Yeah.
First one is, where can people find you, and where can they find Year Bowl? Where can they find Icemunity?
Okay, so Year Bowl, we are in Britomart on Custom Street, just underneath the hotel, and then K Road next to Tesla. We're just literally on the same block as Tesla. Yeah. And then if you're in the Mount for the next month or so, we're down the main street at the Mount.
And the IG handle is just Year Bowl.
Just Year Bowl.
And BOWL as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I first heard it, I thought it was like Year Bowl, like when people are here.
That's what like obviously
where it came from.
Where it came from.
Yeah.
But some people just don't get it, so it's quite funny. It's all good. Like once they click, they'll click. But I'm not gonna.
And where can they find Icemunity?
Icemunity, tech winner.
Obviously, just Icemunity as an Instagram page. The first 2 Saturdays of every month is when we plunge and dip. This Saturday will be the first one of the year. Yeah. Which I'm looking forward to.
And what's their IG handle for that?
It's Icemunity.
Cool.
Yeah.
With 1 M? Or 2
Yeah,
M's?
just 1 M. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
Final one, bro. If you could speak to Phil, who was about to start up this Year Bowl empire franchise, if he was sitting right in front of you right now and he was asking the Phil now for some advice, what would you tell him?
Oh, what would I tell him? Shit. I guess just ask for help, man. If you're stuck on something, don't sit there trying to figure it out. Ask for help, because you'd probably be somewhere else, or you'd be further ahead. But yeah,
that's a good lesson. That's a good lesson.
Love that.
Thanks, everybody.